I want a different year in clean white snow. I want the rapid senescence afforded the possum before trauma, just before that moment of collapse. It's not for play, it's so it can't remember what befalls it. A possum does not play. I want my father back. I want a different father with the same tastes and the same loves. I want a different flower than what blooms in the boxwood hedges without germination. I want to read the book Melville's Final Voyage, which my father owns in a dream. I'm not a seafarer, but I'm not faring well, I want to say. The snow that fell as heavy slush early in the day has turned to eiderdown. People move, and of course the mounds of snow drift and the plows drive like nobody exists. When the streets are revealed, they're irrevocably changed, cratered like the moon or the bottom of a sea. A neighbor offered me her snowblower, but I prefer shovel marks, knife edge to the driveway. It's hard to imagine what the phrase coming back must have meant once. To have it mean anything, one would have to watch the plow returning and not have picked up the trajectory of the turn before the vehicle began coming back. One would have to want to have a different life in clear white snow and want a different bloom than the one created by the snow that February day, along the boxwood hedgerows with wine in the decanter and thought-heavy thoughts for the ones who left us in the garden. My voice hissing through clenched teeth. I want a different echo than the possum. I want a different name. For as long as I can remember, I've been both annoyed and haunted by my name. I don't think this is a unique relationship to have to one's name. I imagine everyone is at times annoyed and at other times haunted by their names, but I dwell on mine far too much. Others are even brave enough to change them. And I'm not talking about some monosyllabic nom de plume haphazardly applied, but legally change them. My name is why it takes me so long to clear the car, to broom it off before starting it and scraping the windows. These are too many names and numerals for one life, but they're so indelibly correct that I hum them in the cold snow and again in the warm car. It's what I don't know back there at the roots, and I'm too listless to learn that does the haunting. It's who I don't know. It's the theology of Jean Calvin and how he came to be known as John Calvin. The prevenient grace some of them have been afforded. I give up a little more every day. I drive to bar 342 for corned beef sliders. I read Fanny Howe's Second Childhood as I sip Canadian Club whiskey and wait for lunch. The man next to me has a voice like a half-empty matchbox rattling itself awake. He doesn't know how he's doing yet. He's here to retrieve a car left in the parking lot. He asks if the how is my AA booklet. John, 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 and John. I read in between delays. I underline the 4 instances of my name with a Kino pencil. John is his name too, I find out. And his voice isn't like a matchbox, I decide, as I note the slack skin around his throat. It's more like an accidental whisper, a light breeze over dying wheat. I tell him I'd have flunked out within a few hours, but I've got step 1 down. I don't think you can actually flunk out of their program. I read a poem called Loneliness, scarf down my sliders and pay my tab. There's too much data in this place. Kino screens, an internet jukebox, a baby shower with a chicken wing buffet. There's too much data in the enjambed lines of the book, what a friend of mine has called hangnail stanzas, for me to latch onto anything other than my name and this personification of loneliness that might engage such a name in actions like clearing snow and driving to lunch. John, follows me out. A green balloon is trapped in the door handle. He warns me not to pop it. He paraphrases the book of John as he lights a cigarette. He says the truth will set me free. John's my name, he explains, and that's from the book of John, and I should try to live my life by the idea that the truth will set you free. I thank him. I don't tell him how homonyms ensnare us, or how the sunlight on ragged snow renders the romance of hunkering down remote. It's too easy to drive now. For anyone to truly come back, the road would have to adopt a chronology of ours. I don't want the road to adopt a chronology of ours. I could be going out for all they know. They who pave this road with too many miles, the more of it they plow, the less of me spins out. There's an elegance to Zeno's paradox that circumvents the civic mind, and a loveliness to leftover weather that one mustn't lose in the sun. I need to have my tires rotated. Something. A good bar room needs good haruspices, the way prophecy needs a self to fulfill its self-fulfilling augurs. They don't have to do much, but observe the damage and guess right. I'll heat my liver for a reading any afternoon.